A lot of choices in this upcoming primary, be it for Republican candidates or even Democrat candidates. You've got choices. So you've got to be able to make those choices only one party at a time, though. You cannot pull a Democrat ticket, expect to vote for Republicans, and you can't vote for Democrats when you pull a Republican ticket. That's what this primary is all about. And you've got choices you've been hearing about, of course, the political ads with all of the Republican candidates for governor. But on the Democrat side, you've got a variety of choices for Secretary of State. And just for noting, I did reach out to all of the candidates for Secretary of State just to see if we could talk with them as early voting's underway now for the June 28th primary. And we did talk with David Moore earlier this morning. Have yet to get anything back from Sidney Moore. Have yet to hear back from Alexi Janulis' campaign. But somebody else who did reach back out is the campaign for Anna Valencia, and she joins us now here on WMAY with Springfield's Morning News. Anna, you grew up in downstate Illinois, then decided that you wanted to live in Chicago and be the Chicago city clerk. You've been there since 2017. How does somebody go from Granite City to Chicago? Good morning, and thanks for taking time with us this morning.
Good morning. Well, my parents still live in Granite City, same house, 40 years. My dad actually just retired as a union painter after 37 years of striping our streets. So I am the black sheep that ended up in Chicago. But really, it's been a lot of hard work and God's grace that has got me to Chicago. It's where I met my husband. We have a little girl who's now 2 years old, Rihanna, our little pandemic baby. And but I love, all my family's in the Metro East. So that's where I'm from. They're working hard for us right now as we speak. My parents they were in Macoupin County last night for me, stomping and sharing our story and our vision.
So early voting's underway. The primary's June 28th. You've got 4 candidates on the ballot here. What's going to separate you from those other candidates that are running for the Democratic nomination?
Well, first, I grew up in a very working class neighborhood. My grandfather was a steel worker. My family is very, working class. And because of amazing public school, high school teachers at Granite City High School, I was able to go to college at University of Illinois, and I was first in my family to graduate college. It was then that I actually decided to get involved in really government and really wanted to make a difference. And I've been the city clerk the last 5 years. I've held executive office. I have worked on things like fines and fees reform, making sure that people are not losing their driver's license because of not parking debt or non-moving violations. Worked on identification issues like the first ever municipal ID card. That's a library card, prescription discount card, a transit card all in one. It's free. And modernizing my office. We are the first major U.S. city in Chicago to have city council members vote electronically. So there's more transparency in government. So I have all of these different qualifications. I'm the only candidate from downstate to be running. And I really think these perspectives will serve me well as a Secretary of State. I'm very honored to have Secretary of State Jesse White's endorsement. 24 years ago, he made history as the first African American to serve as Secretary of State. And I will actually make history as the first woman Secretary of State here in Illinois. So I think we've got a lot to bring to the table and offer to all Illinois residents.
You've got other pretty noticeable endorsements as well, and people can seek those out and when they're making their mind up as to who they want to support for the Democratic nomination to get the Secretary of State and then go off into November and face whoever the Republican is that comes out of the primary. We're talking with Anna Valencia here with Springfield's Morning News on WMAY. Anna, I'll ask the same question I asked of David Moore this morning. Secretary of State Jesse White, a long tenure, right? I mean, he could have possibly won again if he did indeed announce that he was going to run again. He gets the most votes of every election. People just love Jesse White. But is his term too long of a term? Should there be term limits?
Well, I definitely think that's up to the voters to decide. I certainly will not be there as long as Secretary White. I want to serve and do a good job of modernizing the office and making sure that we're tackling those lines, putting more services online. I want to do a one-stop shop portal, which is a mobile app also that you could sign in and renew your driver's license, take your vision test online, pay online, register a business, all at one opportunity to do online. I also want to do some regional pop-up shops where we have flexible hours like Saturdays and evening hours that people can get services without having to take a day off work or find transportation or childcare to get there. I have a toddler, and you certainly cannot stand in 4 hours of lines with a toddler because there's not enough snacks in the world to keep her in line or happy. So those are a lot of things that we got to tackle. So I definitely think that when I get there, I want to stay as long as I can to get all that work done. But once that's done, I'm happy to move on and let someone else come in. We got to make sure we get some new fresh blood and innovative ideas in there too.
Anna Valencia with us on WMAY. There's also been some questions about ethics, not just in Illinois in general, but even with the Secretary of State's office. In the past, it had some ethical issues, questions about patronage and so on. And even in this campaign, with as heated as it's been, we've got accusations flying back and forth. And in particular, the relationship you have with a lobbyist. And talk about that, if you could, how you plan on addressing any possible ethical questions or issues there may be as we get closer to the primary.
Yes, I've certainly addressed this. Look, I've led with character and integrity my whole life. It's the only thing that you have, and my father said that no one can take from you. And I've done that with openness and accessibility as city clerk, period. I'm also my own person, an independent woman. And I think that I'm not the first woman running for office that has to say that my husband does not speak for me, nor will he ever. And I've made it very clear that if I am to be your Secretary of State, that my husband and I will have very separate, firewall. He will not do any business with the state of Illinois. I also want to be clear is that these distractions come from my political opponent, Alexei Giannoulis, as a political stunt, because he doesn't want to talk about his failure as a banker who gave sketchy loans to mobsters, as a state treasurer who lost $110 million of college savings fund programs in hurt working class families like the one I grew up in, or his failure as a U.S. Senate candidate when he lost the Barack Obama Senate seat in 2010. I think Democrats deserve better. They're looking for fresh candidates that have character and integrity. That's why Secretary White endorsed me, because he knows my heart and my commitment to service. He knows my commitment to downstate where I grew up. And that's why Governor Pritzker and Senator Durbin, Senator Duckworth all endorsed me, as well as the firefighters of Illinois and the Nurses Association, because they know that I am a candidate that can win in the fall and that I'm the best person to carry on Secretary White's strong legacy.
And just so the audience knows, I did reach out to the Giannoulis campaign. Have yet to hear back. We may talk with him in the days ahead, so we'll keep everybody posted. Anna Valencia, she is a Democrat running for the party's nomination for Secretary of State. If people want more information about you, where can they find it?
You can go to voteannavalencia.com and look at our website. You can sign up to volunteer. Early voting is underway. I would love to have your support and help me make history as the first woman Secretary of State here in Illinois.
Anna, I appreciate it, and I think we're likely going to talk again in the weeks ahead, all right? Greatly appreciate it.
Wonderful.
We'll talk soon.
Looking good. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Greg.
Right, it is Springfield's Morning News now on WMAY 818. Stay tuned. Got much more.